Hi there, Tracy here with another scrapbooking process video. I'm excited to be the guest designer for the Mimosa's Embellishment kit this month. I've been playing with the Winter 2016 color kit and really having a blast. So thanks so much to Melanie for inviting me and sending me these beautiful handmade embellishments to play with. I'm also using the Basic Grey Urban Luxe collection today, which I won from Basic Grey from their CHA blog post. So let's get on with the process. I'm starting off by just having a look at the kit. I have the old kit. I have the fall kit in the bottom rack of my little display thing there, and the bowl that you see there is the Winter 2016 kit, which I'm working with today, and it has all of these beautiful, vibrant colors. And I noticed as I wasn't going to use the Basic Grey Urban Luxe collection. If you watched my video about it, you know that I wasn't planning to use it until a couple of months from now. But as I was about to put it away, I noticed that some of those vibrant colors really look great with the embellishments that came in the Mimosa Embellishment kit. So I decided to try out combining them. And so these papers are so beautiful. I absolutely love them. The Urban Luxe collection comes with these beautiful, vibrant blues and really vibrant reds and pinks, and it's just so pretty. So I definitely want to use that blue doily because it is perfect. And my whole inspiration, actually, this didn't actually start with the Urban Grey, the Urban Luxe collection. It started with that book. So if you see the picture of my daughter, if you see the book that she's holding, the Warriors title is in that beautiful red that is in the Urban Luxe collection. And then there's all these beautiful blues and purples in the cover of the book. And there's red, of course, those crochet hearts are red from the Mimosa Embellishment kit. And then there are some beautiful blues and purples. So the colors in the book cover directed me towards the Urban Luxe collection. And then I noticed that the Mimosa Embellishment kit for this month really coordinates as well. So I'm putting the two of them together to scrapbook this photo. Now this black paper with the white words on it, I thought made a perfect mat. I love using black paper with patterns on it, with repeating patterns like that, tight repeating patterns as a mat. So then I decided to cut my doily in half so that it would be, because it's not big enough to pop out from the top and the bottom. So I do that a lot with doilies. And there's Lila coming by to make sure that everything is going smoothly. And I'm cutting out this card that has a sentiment on it, but I'm thinking I'm probably going to cover up the sentiment and just use it as a pattern paper. And so there we go. I'm thinking about using that as my design. And I noticed as I was cutting up the papers that the little branding strip, often Basic Grey has these little scalloped pieces on their branding strip. And I thought that it looked really pretty. And I thought maybe I'll use some of those branding strips as well. And yeah, so you'll notice that I took out all of the pieces from the Mimosa Embellishment kit that I thought might coordinate with this layout. So I left all of the pieces that were the wrong color scheme for this. And I am only working with the blues and the reds that came in the kit. So I'll use the rest of the kit another time for another project. So I love that watercolor paper with those vibrant colors, the pinks and the purples and the blues. And yeah, so this is it's basically a solid pink paper, that really bright one there. It's the back side, it's the B side of one of the other patterns in the kit, in the collection. And I want to bring in this watercolor flower paper because it's absolutely gorgeous. And when I do that, it's going to leave too skinny of a strip of that pink paper. And so what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to cut that pink paper so that I can stretch it and make it look like it's wider than it really is. So there we go. Now there's more of it showing. And it is rather plain, but I'm thinking about embossing it with dry embossing it in order to give it a little subtle texture and a little subtle pattern on it. So again, every time I see one of those little scallops that I think will work with the layout, I'm just hanging on to it and I'm stacking them on the top and on the bottom. I thought I would put my hearts, those crocheted heart embellishments, they're red. They look quite dark. They almost look like a burgundy, but they're not. They're like a raspberry red. The video doesn't do them justice. They're beautiful. So make sure you hang around and see the pictures at the end. So I'm putting buttons in the middle of them. Right now I'm going with a monochromatic look with all red buttons, and now I've decided to change it up and use the blue buttons because it gives a little bit more color to the embellishment. And now I'm going to do some journaling on this layout, but I'm going to put it in that little pocket up at the very top of the layout. So I'm opening up the embellishments that come in the collection. They don't come in the collection, but I won them as part of the collection. I won all the pieces as part of the prize. Love, love, love that gray leafy branch. It's just so pretty. So right now what I'm doing is I'm just pulling out anything that I think might coordinate with the embellishments that I already had picked out from the Mimosa kit. And anything that might go, I've just kind of set aside on top of the layout there. And I thought I might be able to come up with a bit of a layered embellishment up here in the top corner to give me a little bit of balance with the rest of the layout that will be kind of down in the main part of the page. And I'm going with this vertical layout. It's very vertical once you add those horizontal strips. And then, of course, the horizontal strips, and especially that big, large horizontal strip that runs across the very back of the main cluster of papers and the photo, that helps to balance it all out. So I felt like I needed something very horizontal in the design to balance out with the very vertical nature of this layout. I'm going to outline all of my papers, and the reason I'm doing that in this case, I outline for a lot of different reasons. This time I'm outlining to bring all of these different patterns together because there are a lot of patterns on this page, especially if you consider the fact that each of these scallops introduces another 1 or 2 patterns to my page. So that's a lot when you think about all those boxes of paper up above, as well as these strips above and below. And I've got more patterns up on that little secondary cluster that includes the journaling pocket as well. So outlining just helps make it all look like it belongs together and is cohesive and coordinated. So I'm not putting these strips in the center of the page. I'm putting them a little bit off to the right because I want this vertical strip of, it'll be horizontal strip, and then a vertical mostly vertical cluster of pages, like papers and the photo and all that sort of thing, and then more horizontal stripes. That whole thing kind of makes a large vertical component on the background, like on the layout, on the overall design of the layout. So here you can really see the vertical nature of these papers. So I'm outlining them again, and I'm kind of gluing as I go along in some cases. And I'm outlining this one as if it were a whole because it will read as a single piece. And so I'm putting all of these things a little bit right of center, and that gives me enough space for my secondary cluster up in the top corner that will hold my journaling in a little pocket. This is the pocket right here, and that's part of the Mimosa Embellishment kit for the winter of 2016. I'm just outlining all the different parts of it. I'm going to outline the back of that opening as well. It's like a little flap, but I'm going to leave the flap open. I'm outlining that anyways, but I'm actually going to eventually cover up that white with a sticker, but not this one. I'm kind of playing around with what else I could do. See, that die cut fits quite nicely there, but not quite. It's not quite the right, it's the perfect size, but it's not the right colors. I wanted something with some dark inky blue in it. So there, I found a punch that was almost the same size as that die cut, and lo and behold, wow, it covers that white spot perfectly. I couldn't have planned that better. What a fluke. So I just outline around that, and that just gives that pocket a nice finished touch. If you were folding the flap over, it wouldn't matter so much, but because my flap is going to be projecting, it's actually going to project outside of my album. It's going to be sticking out on the very top of the page. So I want it to be finished for that reason. So this is a die cut that came with the Basic Grey Urban Luxe collection ephemera pack. And I'm just attaching it onto the envelope, onto the little pocket. And it's giving me a little bit of grief. For some reason, I put the adhesive on the top and the bottom. I should have put it on the sides because the bottom overhangs a little bit. But anyhow, and that felt flower is one of my very favorite things. Probably the crocheted hearts and the felt flower are my two favorite things in this kit. So I'm happy to be using both in this layout. And so I just have, again, I'm just clustering. I want to combine different textures together. So I like how the shiny button looks beside the very unshiny felt. And then that staple gives a little touch of metallic shine there. I'm getting some linen twine. And I'm just going to, and I thought I was picking the Stampin' Up! Linen twine, which I really love, but I picked this other, it's by Maya, by May Arts, I think. May Arts? Yeah, I think. Anyhow, it's not Stampin' Up! Linen thread, and see how it is shedding all those little pieces? That's what you get when you don't use Stampin' Up! So anyhow, I'm going to switch because I like the Stampin' Up! Linen thread is a lot softer. So I took out my glue gun because I'm pretty sure I'm going to need my glue gun to stick those crocheted hearts onto my layout. I also grabbed my wood grain embossing folder. I'm just toying with the idea of using something else, but with the size of the paper, I only have a few embossing folders that are big enough to emboss on that size of paper. I don't want to have to mess around with lining it up and getting it through multiple passes of the same folder. So I just decided to use the wood grain. I like the wood grain. It goes nicely with the theme of the layout with lots of botanicals and stuff on it. And it's nice and it's the right size. So it works all around. And so that wood grain embossing just adds, isn't that nice? It adds such a subtle effect to that pink paper and makes it just not boring. I'm just having a look at how I had my items lined up and laid out before I went ahead and outlined everything. And I had a lot of strips showing of pattern paper showing over on the left-hand side of the photo. So I'm trying to line up things the way that they were before. And I'm peeling up, I'm just kind of curling up the edges, and I'm placing some pop dots in there, and I'm placing them a ways in. And so as opposed to putting them right by the edge of the paper, I'm putting them a little bit in from the edge of the paper. That helps it stand up a little bit more. And also curling up the edge of the photo itself and the mat. And I really like this little bunch of papers that I have layered here. Layered papers make me so happy. Oh, curling up the other edge as well. And then to just balance out, there's so many papers on the other side, and so I need something on this right side. I'm going to place that die cut leafy branch. I had to grab some more dimensional adhesive from Stampin' Up! I was running out of pop dots, so that's what I was doing there. Just placing more pop dots on either side of the large horizontal strip that runs the background, that beautiful watercolor paper I'm placing right now. And again, I placed those pop dots so that they were a little ways in on that horizontal strip, so that the edges of that horizontal strip will stick out even more. I'm going to do a little bit of shifting, and that's one of the things I love about ATG is that it is quite forgiving. It's very permanent, so if I didn't want to move these around, they wouldn't move, but I can very carefully pry things up. Even something as delicate as a doily, I can pry it up and reposition it if I'm very, very careful, and it stays sticky. I don't have to add more adhesive or anything, and it is permanent if I want it to be. So that's a nice thing about it. Now these hearts I'm lining up in another horizontal line that kind of mirrors the line that goes behind the photos. So that watercolor piece that runs horizontally behind all of the other layers, this line of hearts kind of mimics and repeats that line. There we go. And I thought that this extra little die cut chevron piece that looks like it's kind of pointing to the stack of papers that are behind the photo, I thought that that just adds a little bit of something that brings the top secondary cluster into the main cluster of papers in the photo. I have to add some outlining to these elements because there's outlining on the main part of the layout, and I want it to look like it belongs. I don't want it to look like it was an afterthought to just stick that journaling up in the corner there, and that is sometimes the way it looks when you have something very, very different that's all in one place on your page. So I have to bring some elements in to make it look like it belongs. The things that make it look different is that the pocket is made out of, well, I don't know if the pocket makes it look all that different. It's kind of that white and blue polka dot is a little bit different than some of the other patterns in that it has a very white base, but also that felt flower is very different from, it's similar in that it's a textile, but it has a very different feel and a different color and a different shape from the hearts that are below. So I just don't want it to look like it was a last minute addition. So outlining adds some cohesion to it, and I'm bringing the linen thread. It is a different brand of linen thread, but it's still linen thread. This is the Stampin' Up! Stuff that I prefer to use, and I'm just double threading this because I just wanted the thread to look a little bit more significant. Like I wanted it to look thicker, is what I'm trying to say. So the repetition of the linen thread also ties in the top cluster with the main cluster as well. And for the two outside buttons, I'm just threading it normally as if they're sewn in place. And then for the center one, I'm going to tie a little bow like I did on the button that's in the top cluster. And so the buttons repeat from cluster to cluster, the thread repeats from cluster to cluster, and something textile repeats from cluster to cluster. It's a crocheted heart in the bottom, and it's a felt flower in the top. And then, of course, there's outlining that repeats, and there's, more of the basic gray style of embellishments in both clusters as well. That repetition just helps your page feel like it belongs together. So I'm going to use my hot glue gun to put those buttons on the crocheted hearts. And now I just need to date this, and I'm going to put the date right in the middle of that chevron piece from the Basic Grey ephemera pack. It's February 13th, 2016. We were at the robotics what's it called? RoboFest. My international student is involved. She's so well-rounded, man. She's a cheerleader and a dancer and a gymnast, and she's also on the robotics team and in the math club and on the rugby team too. So, I am, what am I doing? Yes. So what am I doing here? That little, the Mimosa embellishment that is the pocket, it came with 3 little tags in it, and I'm going to use 2 of them. I'm actually creating a sticker. I was going to put a basic gray tag on the back of the Mimosa tag, but it wasn't quite the right size. And so what I decided to do was use my sticker maker and put both of the tags together so that I have a double-sided tag. So the blue side came in the Mimosa kit and the pink side came in the Mimosa kit. And then I put the basic gray sticker on the back. Again, this is going to be an interactive component, so it's going to come out of the pocket, and I want it to look nice on both sides because whoever looks at it will probably flip it over. So now I'm looking for what will act as a reinforcement, and there are these little circle stickers that once I punch a hole in it with my crocodile, it makes a perfect little reinforcement for my tag. And it brings some of that basic gray pattern into that embellishment and makes it look like it belongs with the other ones. I'm going to use some more of the linen thread here. And that will be my journaling tag that I'll journal on. My journaling says, Liv loves her warrior books so much she can't put them down. At the RoboFest, she was reading The New Prophecy. And then on the back side, it has a basic gray sticker over top of the pink tag that came in the kit, and it says gorgeous. And then you saw that I also layered that basic gray sticker that says simply amazing, and just the word simply sticks out there. I like how that looks. And now I'm using these basic gray letter stickers because I love them. And I'm going to spell out the word bookworm. And I love the basic gray letter stickers, although I don't typically use them very much. So I'm not entirely sure where this title is going to go, but I'm going to spell it out anyways. And I'm choosing the black stickers because I feel like they're going to be more legible. I'm going to have more options for where to put my title. And so I'm calling this Bookworm because, we take her all these places. It looks nice there. Maybe I should have put it there. That's not where it ends up going. We take her all these places and she's always got her nose in a book. So I think that looks nice actually up on the side there. It's very different. It's unexpected, which I like. I keep going back to that. I should have put it there, but I didn't. I'm really struggling with placement of this title and I can't figure out where I want it. And here I am on a whole other day because I literally didn't know where to put it. So I decided to change the stickers, and these are some Authentique. They're petite type stickers and they're tile stickers. And so I find tile stickers a much easier way to make a title because the legibility is guaranteed because they're on a tile. So the background is not going to distract you from being able to read it. I really like that I can put it offset here. And if I had used the other letter stickers that are the shapes of the letters, I'm just showing you the packaging there. If I had used the other letter stickers, it would be distracting because you'd see the edge of that mat of the black pattern paper with the text on it. And you'd also see through the holes in the letters, you'd see the holes in the lace of the doily, and it would be very distracting. So tile letter stickers are a really nice no-brainer way to put on a title when you're having trouble with a title otherwise. And I wanted my title to be small for this. I usually use bigger letter stickers for my titles, but I specifically wanted to use a small letter sticker for my title. I just had it in mind that I just wanted it to be small. So I'm going to place some of these enamel dots from my stash, and I'm choosing colors that pick up on the colors that are already on the layout. And I'm sorry that I didn't move the the page down so that you could see it, but there's the other one. I'm putting them in 3 different places to make a visual triangle on this layout. So the third place, I'm kind of playing with the idea of it being here, but I'm actually going to put it up on this pattern paper instead, or it's actually, yeah, textured paper. So that's it. The layout is complete now, and I love how it turned out. I absolutely love it. The Basic Grey Urban Luxe collection coordinates perfectly with the Mimosa Embellishment kit, the color kit for the winter of 2016. And so you see that tag there, just looks so cute. The tag itself came in the kit, and then I just dressed it up with some pieces from the Urban Luxe die cut pieces. The embroidered, or what are they called, crocheted hearts are absolutely beautiful, and they add such nice texture and dimension to a page, as does felt. That felt flower is just so pretty. I really, really love working with these little one-of-a-kind unique embellishments that are not in your everyday supplies. I really love how the Mimosa Embellishment Kit just offers these little interesting extra details that you can use to dress up a page, which otherwise, without those pieces, this layout would be very paper, like it would be very flat. And I mean, other than the enamel dots, it wouldn't have a lot of texture besides the paper. So I'm really enjoying working with this Mimosa Embellishment kit for winter of 2016. The color kit is so much fun. If you're interested in buying the Mimosa kit or one of their other kits, check out the links that I'm leaving in the information section for this video. Make sure you follow them on Facebook so that you can see when they come out with their new kits, and have a really great scrappy week.